Hello and welcome everybody to a tabletop streaming with Tabletop Junkie coming to you live. I do apologize, I am working with some new software, so I am actually going to be speaking a little bit slowly tonight, just so that way I can maybe double hear myself real quick in this video to make sure I am broadcasting thoroughly, as well as making sure I'm broadcasting period. Most difficult thing about right now is I'm switching to new software, which I'm trying to use so that way I can utilize this background a little bit more, as well as my logo. And it sounds like everything is perfect. So I am bringing you today a review regarding Planet of the Apes. Starting with the original, I believe it's Arthur J. Oh man, I forgot his name. Already forgot his name. Oh, I already messed up the stream. Already messed up the stream because I don't even know the name of the person I'm supposed to be talking about here. Give me just a second and I will pull up his name. Boy, there we go. We're good there. Alright, let me pull up his name. Arthur J. Let's see. Planet of the Apes. 1968 was written by... We will eventually figure this out. It was at APAC Productions. Oh boy. You know, I already screwed this. Oh, Arthur P. Jacobs. I said Arthur J. Arthur P. Jacobs. Oh boy, you know, it just screwing up the stream already, you know. But anyway, so moving on. So yeah, we're here to talk about Planet of the Apes. I'm going to do a movie review, which is something I don't normally do. I like to focus on games, but that is why we're even here right now, because I do have a little something to share. Ape Victorious, which is actually written by Goblinoid Games, based in a Planet of the Apes type universe. Not exactly Planet of the Apes, but it's humans against apes. You know, as you can see, it does take elements of Planet of the Apes, which is what I really do like about it. So I did want to share this really quick. We're not going to talk about Ape Victorious right now, just for the simple fact of I haven't really looked too much into it as an RPG, but I will be actually, I think I can get it on drive-through. Do not quote me on it. I did not look into that. I tried going to the main website for Goblinoid Games, did not get good results on that one. Just because I think the website might be down. I'm not sure. Like I said, I didn't look into this hardly. I found it just trying to get some ideas for maybe a one-shot for Planet of the Apes. I don't know. My whole entire time, you know, writing games, I like to play them as much as I'd like to write them, which is a lot. So, anyway, so I did come across this, and as well as this was shared by my good friend Ironcaster. You know, he shared this with me as well, and too late, I've already looked into it. Which is, I believe it's based in an OSR type system. So it's like, could be D20 or even a little bit slightly different. So, without further ado, we're going to go looking into we're going to come here for the actual review, because we're not doing a review on this tonight. But I may do this in the future. But let's start with this one, Planet of the Apes, it was written into a book sequence, which I don't have any of that, but the movie was made in 1968. So I did review this movie. I actually ended up purchasing the entire classic collection for like $20-30 at Walmart back in 2016. Just cracked open the DVD case, sat on my shelf for 6 years, unopened, unplayed. So I played it. I've been watching them like crazy. I've already finished 3 movies as of today, but I'm going to do a review on each and every one of them. So the first one I wanted to do a review on is Planet of the Apes. So the movie, you know, so also for those who have not seen Planet of the Apes, just so you know, spoilers. If you don't like spoilers, I do recommend maybe perhaps not watching my video. You know, just the way it is. Hang on one second. Alright, so hopefully this doesn't tweak me down too much. I had to turn down my mic volume a little bit because I'm showing a spike here in my system that I'm putting in way too much sound. So, as I was saying, in Planet of the Apes. So the movie starts out, and as I stated, spoilers, if you don't want to listen and haven't seen it and you want to see it, I do recommend not listening. Alright, so in Planet of the Apes, the movie starts out with a group of astronauts in space traveling to a new planet that is several hundred of light years away. About, I think it was like 390, roughly 400 light years away. And they've learned that traveling through space on only a few months has actually aged the Earth several hundred years, that time does not pass the same as it does in space as it does on Earth. So where they took an 18-month journey in space, the Earth actually aged almost 2,000 years. That's how much time eats up on Earth and how fast our time passes on Earth versus in space. After 18 months, they ended up crash landing onto a planet. It was a astronaut team of 4. One was actually dead in the cell, in her cryogenic chamber, which they used to keep from aging for another 6 months and to keep their bodies well physically fit. As they woke up, they found one of their crew members dead. It looked like the cryogenic chamber failed and that she suffocated to death and was dead for over a year. The other astronauts, their cryogenic chambers did fail at some point, but only within anywhere from a few weeks to up to probably, I don't know, a few months, even maybe 6 months at max, but I don't think it was that quite that long. They got off their ship and onto the planet of which they call Bellatrix. As they searched for the planet that they thought was Bellatrix, they found out that it wasn't, because the sky was a little bit more white or blue than what Bellatrix actually was, and they read the reports on what Bellatrix was, and it wasn't nothing that Bellatrix was supposed to be. They didn't know what planet they were on or where they were, but they knew that they were somewhere between Earth and up to 400 light years away. So as they looked through the planet, they came across some scarecrows and then eventually found a water source after almost 3 days of traveling, and came in contact with indigenous human life, of which were not capable of speech and was a very primitive culture. They did follow them back, and they actually thought they were going to rule over the planet. As they said that, they were scared off by a roar, of which a bunch of horses came in, and people, supposedly what could have been people, which the screen did not show, capturing a bunch of the human beings that were primitive. And it was revealed that it was apes, gorillas. These gorillas actually killed a couple of humans, captured a few of them, and the ones they did capture, the ones they did capture, they put into camps for scientific study and target practice. Of which we bring in a couple of the main characters, Zira and her husband Cornelius, that actually looked upon the strangers strange. However, all of the astronauts were separated. One was killed in the field. Another one actually ended up being captured and put into a separate encampment than the main character. The main character's name is Taylor, Colonel Taylor. He had a friend named he had a colleague named Landon, and I forgot his other friend's name, but he didn't survive much past the first 15 minutes. So once Landon was actually shot in the throat and could not talk through a good chunk of the movie, but once he was able to talk, he shared his famous line of telling the apes to get their dirty paws off him, which is exactly how it was. I cannot act like that. The actor's name is Charles Heston, and he is a very good actor. So they learned that this human was able to speak, which humans on this planet was not able to speak. So they go through a series of scenes where he tries to get out into the Forbidden Zone or try to escape, proving that he's not a mutant of the planet. He's from somewhere else. He came from outer space. He's not indigenous to their planet. Of which none of the apes believed him. The apes actually operate on a caste system of chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans. Orangutans are their main governors and politicians and head of the scientists and keeper of the faith, as well as defender of the people. The gorillas are their soldiers, and the chimpanzees are their scientists. slash inventors slash explorers, archaeologists, all that good stuff. So as they were trying to figure out what to do with him, because the whole fact that that Taylor could talk actually frightened the ape community. Well, to not go through the whole movie scene by scene, they eventually do escape. While Taylor was in custody, he did grow fond of a girl named Nova that he named Nova, that could not speak, and she was indigenous to the planet, as well as, like I said, she was human but could not speak. But he did grow fond of her, and she did like him. He actually saved her from the field. Okay, so after they did make their great escape with the help of some with some apes, the apes were, I believe it was Zira, Cornelius, and Zira's nephew, helped them escape and get into the Forbidden Zone to flee Ape City, because Taylor was sentenced to be neutered and, if not, killed. So they flee to the Forbidden Zone, of which they find a cave with artifacts of early 20th century items such as glasses, dolls, many different things, as well as primitive apes were in there as well. Well, with that said, they eventually ended up sealing the cave. However, Taylor did make an escape with Nova. The other apes were freed of persecution at the moment, due to their discoveries that they did find. Near the actual end of the movie, we come to the Statue of Liberty, where he realizes he's been at home the whole time, near the year 4000, and that the Earth was destroyed and apes rose up to power and took over the entire planet. So the planet he thought he wasn't native to, turns out he actually was. So, through that whole movie, there was a lot of walking, a lot of scenes. I would give it an 8 out of 10, and it is definitely a must-see, and it does inspire great ideas for early tabletop games. And however, we're not done for tonight. We do have another movie to talk about. What lies beneath planet of what lies beneath? It's called Beneath the Planet of the Apes. What lies beneath may be the end. So in this movie, we leave off with just at the end of the other movie. No time has passed. Taylor and Nova are in the Forbidden Zone, and it eventually, due to seeing walls of fire and some quite electricity striking the ground, thunder everywhere, Nova ends up eventually losing Taylor, and Taylor disappears, and we don't know where he is, and we never see him in the movie. We find out another team actually crash landed on the planet of the Apes, which they did find out was Earth sometime in the movie, where this one is Brent, and he actually spends most of the movie looking for Colonel Taylor. So Nova leads him back to Ape City, where he finds out that the planet is ran by the apes in Ape City. He meets Zira and Cornelius, and they help clothe him and get him to where he needs to go. Of which we do see quite often that they get attacked, they get captured, they get freed again, and they do end up making it somewhere in the Forbidden Zone into like subterranean underground, which ends up being an old subway in New York, exactly where Brent grew up. Brent realizes that he's on Earth and that he's in the future. So they do hear some humming, and they go through a series of scenes where they're being led, and once they were led to a certain passage or a certain like underground city, Brent has a sudden urge to kill Nova, and he cannot figure out why, and he can't control himself. Once they decide to enter a church that they found, they realize that there is a person in there worshiping a missile with the Greek symbols of Alpha and Omega on it. And it's made of gold plating. Of which we do find out that there is another group of life. They're no longer human. They are actually called mutants, and they have the ability of casting illusions and possibly forcing people to do things against their will. Except the apes' minds, even though well developed for speech and thought, are actually somewhat resistant against this kind of thing. So all they really have against the apes is the illusions, which eventually does end up failing. The apes during this time, the gorillas rise up to power and control everything from the orangutans and the chimpanzees, as they feel that there's war brewing. So they lead out to the Forbidden Zone to also track them down, track down Brent and Nova, and they do end up finding the home place of the mutants, of which that's when they start fighting and killing. In the end, they do try to disarm the missile, but Brent is killed in the process, and Taylor manages to hit the button, destroying the entire world. Now, once again, without going through scene by scene and spoiling the whole movie, it is definitely a must-watch. I would also, too, give that an 8 out of 10. Minus there's a few drawn-out scenes where you're kind of like, okay, come on, let's get this moving on. And believe it or not, these movies are not too drawn out. I believe the first movie is just under 2 hours, and the second movie is just under an hour and 40 minutes. So they are definitely both within a sufficient time to watch and be okay. So that is my review on these movies. Definitely both 8 out of 10. I would say please do watch them. I had to do a review on them tonight because I think I like how everything the Planet of the Apes are, and there's a lot more there for storyline than most people realize. I do like the Apes Society. I do like how the movies were written. I don't necessarily like the long, drawn-out walking scenes because they would have like 3 or 4 30-second to up to 1 minute scenes of them just walking, and it shows them walking across. Then they do another one, and then another one. It's like 3 to 5 minutes we do that, and I'm like, okay, come on. And they do that in both movies. So I do have another review, but we're not going to do it tonight, which, you know, kind of wish I was, but I'm kind of not because I didn't really put it out there. And that is the third movie, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, which has a really neat plot twist. So we will cover that on another separate review. For those who tuned in, which I don't know if anyone actually did, but for those who did tune in, I do appreciate you coming out and supporting me. Those who do watch this, I do appreciate everything. But yeah, these movies are pretty good, and I'm glad I got to do a review on them. So other than that, I have nothing else. I'm just also testing out this program. It is a different program that I'm using. I'm trying to break away from StreamYard a little bit because I'm kind of going to have more windows up like this, how I have mine. And I'm actually going to be moving things around where we can do maps and whatnot. You'll be seeing people's character sheets, maps, and many more things. I'm trying to do a whole project on this because we do have things coming up in the future, such as Star Trek, and we do have, yes, the Witch King is here. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't show up, guys. I kind of passed out, and I just been really busy with things right now. Because the school year is about to start. My job starts on Friday. I got a new job, yay, career change. And everything starts up after Friday. So today I kind of slipped my mind that it was Wednesday because I have things to do early in the morning. I'm actually getting ready to go to bed. So, I'm actually getting ready to go to bed here in the next few minutes because I got to be up between 5 and 7, sometime between there. I think I can push it to 7, but I'm not trying to push myself too thin because I have to be at places at 8 a.m. my time. It's just crazy. So, but yep, the Witch King is here. I wonder if I can view. Nope, I cannot view those who are responding to me, but maybe I can figure out a way to do that. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I'm working with a brand spanking new program. So I'm just trying to just get it to work. So anyway, I do apologize. Someone was just writing me. Well, anyway, that is everything I have for tonight. Without further ado, I will not keep anyone else any longer. So I would like to tell everybody to have a good night and a safe evening. And once again, this is Tabletop Junkie telling you guys to work hard, play hard, game hard. As always, we will have games coming up in the near future. One of my main games I'm getting ready that I cannot wait to run will be Castles and Crusades. I am going to love running that. To give you guys a bit of spoiler on that, and just to take up maybe 5 more minutes of you guys' time. One of the things that we are going to do with that is, like I said, we're going to have some neat features where you're going to be able to see a map. I'm hoping to make it to where the players can control the map a little bit like I can, like using Foundry or something, so that way you can see the players' progress as well as their character sheets, just to have like a rough draft, something that looks really cool for gaming. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to be working on a few other projects, and I actually just have a few people that are actually helping me out with that. So yeah, just stay tuned. We do have more things coming, and it's not coming out as quick as I would like, but hopefully I can, basically crack down on myself and say, hey, listen, this is my hobby. I do want to support it, just a little bit. It's just a hobby. And I don't get to do it very often. So lately I've been, granted, I can't say that because the summer's been a little bit indulged. But it's never been indulged this much, so I can't complain too much. Well, anyway, this is Tabletop Junkie giving you his famous salute. You guys all have a great and wonderful evening. Love you guys, and stay cool out there.